Yeah, guys, you are able to see my screen, right? Today we are going to do our first lab, which is how to get internet to our Windows machine or whatever the Windows machine that you have connected. Okay, what are the things that we need to configure in the firewall, as well as what are the policies and how we can enable the interfaces. Okay, we can do each and everything that we have discussed in the previous two classes. Okay, and this is a basic lab. Okay, this lab will be used for every upcoming classes as well. Okay, upcoming labs, this is a basic thing, this is a foundation for our upcoming classes. Okay, please make if you want note down, you can note down as well. Okay, and if you can remember, you can remember as well. Okay, uh, whenever you are going to do an lab, first what you have to do is you can make your own topology. Okay, make your own topology, and whatever the things that we need to configure, you can just make a rough diagram as well. Okay, for today's class, this is our topology where I have Windows machine connected to the firewall. Okay, this is an Windows machine, and this is our firewall. Okay, and firewall is connected to the internet. Okay, and I have connected this Windows machine on the Ethernet 1/1, and the firewall outgoing interface or outside interface is connected to the internet through via Ethernet 1/4. This is our interfaces that are connected to the Windows and also the internet. Okay, or outside, and we need to create a zones, right? So this Ethernet 1/1 should be, okay, should be our inside or trust zone, and the outside one is an outside or untrust zone. Okay, we will be calling as we like, but I am using inside zone and outside zone. Okay, what are the things that we need to configure means I am giving you a list of things that we need to configure on the firewall. First, you need to create a zones with type L3. Okay, type as an L3. And second one, enable the interfaces. Okay, you have already any interfaces will be already there. Whatever the interfaces, you just need go ahead on the interfaces and enable the interface. How to enable the interface, I will show you. What are the interfaces that we have connected? Ethernet 1/1 and Ethernet 1/4, right? Enable the interface, config IP address. Okay, config IPs, as well as, and we have to call these zones in the on the interface. Okay, and enable. Yes, I am using paint only now. No, I am just giving you a rough overview what we are going to do in the lab. Okay, yeah. So in the enabling, whenever you are going to enable the interface, whatever you need to think is on the first we need to enable the interface as an L3, and you have to configure an IPs, and as well as you need to enable the zone, whatever the zone that you have created. So on the Ethernet 1/1, we have inside, right? We need to call that inside zone on the Ethernet 1/1. Okay, as well as we have configuring this an L3, right? We need to also create an virtual router. Okay, virtual router is mainly for the routing purpose, because this is an L3 interface where you are going to use the routes, right? For L3 interface, if you want to reach a destination, we need a routes, right? All the routes will be in the virtual router. If you enable the L3 as an interface as an L3, this interface will be working as an router. Okay, that is called a virtual router, where all the routes for this particular interface will be in this virtual router. Okay, and after that, if you want, we can also create an interface management profile. That is the next thing. Okay, and third thing is an create an interface management profile. Okay, we need to create an interface management profile. and assign that interface management profile to the inside interface. Okay, this management profile interface we need to assign only on the inside or trust interface, not on the outside interface or untrust. Whatever going outside of whatever the interfaces that are connected outside of your firewall, don't enable the interface management profile on that outside interface, because there is a more there will be a more problem if you assign that interface management profile on the outside interface. Okay, don't assign that. You have to enable, or you have to assign the interface management profile on the inside interface only. Okay, inside interface which is connected to our Windows machines only. Okay, and fourth thing you have to configure is an security policies. Okay, why we need security policy means we have to allow the traffic from this Windows machine. Whenever we are reaching the internet, we have to allow this Windows machine traffic, right? We need to create a security policy as well as an NAT policy. Okay, this NAT policy will also be used to get an internet to your Windows machine. Okay, security policies to allow the traffic from the Windows machine, and NAT policies will be able to get internet, yeah, one zone to another zone. And you will get an yes, security policies we need to create if you are going and creating traffic, or going the traffic from one side, one zone to another zone. So security policies will be used in that way, and NAT policies will be able to get internet to your Windows machine. Okay, we will, these are the things that you need to mostly focus on this lab. Okay, if you want to get an internet to your Windows machine, these are the things that you need to focus. We will go ahead and configure all these things. Okay, and before that I will show you the topology. Sorry. No, yeah, in the management profile, whatever the protocols that we need, okay, we need to enable that. There is nothing by default, nothing will be enabled. Okay, if you want to use HTTPS, you have to enable there. యా ఎలా అంటే మనకి మనకి ఆ ప్రోటోకాల్స్ ఎనేబుల్ చేస్తేనే ఇప్పుడు నీకు ఇక్కడ నుంచి పింగ్ చేస్తున్నావు. ఓకే, విండోస్ నుంచి ఈ ఇంటర్నెట్కి పింగ్ చేస్తున్నావు. ఓకే, వీ హ్యావ్ కాన్ఫిగర్డ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్, బట్ వీ మిస్ ద ఇంటర్ఫేస్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ ప్రొఫైల్. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ ఏం చేస్తుంది అంటే, దిస్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ విల్ నాట్ అలో దట్ పింగ్ అంటిల్ అన్లెస్ వీ ఎనేబుల్డ్. ఓకే, so in that case we need to configure interface management profile, and we have to enable the ping there and assign that interface management profile on this interface, so that this interface will be allowed ping. And in the same way, if you want to allow HTTPS on this particular interface, and go ahead on the same management profile and enable the HTTPS. You have already configured the interface management profile on this interface, right, for the ping. And in the same way, if you want to enable HTTPS also, don't create a new one. Go ahead on the existing one and enable the HTTPS there. So on this interface, you will be able to ping, and on the same way, you will be able to access the GUI of this firewall as well. Okay. Yeah. This is my topology. Whatever I have drawn on the paint. This is exactly same one, but extra. This is the one where I am getting interface IP address to the management. Okay. So this is Ethernet 1/4, where I am reaching to the internet, and Ethernet 1/1 I connected to the Windows machine. Okay, and I am logging. I already logged in with this on this firewall. See, once the see, you have to build up the topology, right? How you can do is, I have already added the node, right? If you want to add the nodes, just right click on this. There is a option called node. Just click on the node and search for Palo Alto. if any, if you will be seen here, right, the parallel, the one which is in gray color, it is not added, the image is not added in the EVNG, which are showing in the blue color. If you are seeing the blue color, you have added the images, then only you can select. Okay, if you see the blue color ones, then only you can add the images. Okay, so just click on Palo Alto, it will be showing the list of the things that this firewall is configured with. Don't touch anything. Okay, just go ahead and the RAM and give it to 7000. Okay, because these firewalls will start if we give 4096 as well, but we need to apply the license. Once the firewall is up, we need to apply the license. To apply, if you want to apply the license, it needs at least 6.5 GB. Okay, so I'm going with 7000, and if you save, the node will be added here. Okay, the node will be added here, and I want to add Windows machine, right? In the same way, you can just click on the node, select Windows, click on Windows. Okay, you can go with the 4096 for this Windows, and okay, and whatever the Windows images that you have already added in the EVNG through WinSCP, it will be shown here. I have only one Windows 7. If you have Windows 10 or Windows 11, if you have 2 to 3 Windows images, it will if you drop down, it will show here. But I have only one Windows machine, so it is showing only one, and it will be auto selected. Okay, once you click on the Windows, it will be auto select, and nothing needs to be changed here. Okay, just go with the default, just click on save, it will be connected like this. Okay, and after that, I need to add management cloud, right? The management cloud will be in the networks. Okay, all the devices will be in the nodes, but management cloud, these clouds will be in the networks. Okay, just click on networks, it will show here. Okay, it will be show. If you want to name, you can name as you like. Okay, I am giving as management cloud, and the number of nodes that you want to add, I want 2, right? Just click on 2, and the type not the bridge, it is an management cloud. Okay, just click on OK, it will be show 2 here. Okay, just drag down here. Okay, on one by one it will be there, but you have to drag down on one. Don't start the images. Okay, once you have to connect all this, until unless you connect, don't start the devices. If you start the devices, you are not able to connect the connections. Okay, once the connection is completed and once entire topology is done, then only you have to start the devices. Okay, because once you start the devices, you no longer able to make the connections. Okay, just like this it will show here. Once I am keeping the cursor, it will be showing an one plug symbol, right? So if you place this plug symbol, and you can drag and drop here. Okay, drag and drop on this plug symbol, it will be connecting, and it will be asking for the to which interface that it needs to be connect. Okay, so for first one, I want to connect with the management. Okay, so I am selecting as a management interface and save here. Okay, and next thing, I am connecting this again, parallel one of the interface to the another management cloud. I am connecting this, I want Ethernet 1/3 to connect. Whatever you want, you can connect. Okay, I want 1/3 to connect to this second cloud, and I am connecting. Okay, and the Windows machine, I am connecting to the Ethernet 1/1. Okay, Ethernet 1/1, and for interface Windows, we have only one interface, and it will be shown here, and just save. So the topology will be completed. Okay, the topology is completed, and once the topology is completed, you can right click and click on start. Okay, if you right click, it will be if you click on the right click on any of the device, it will show the start, and if you click on the start, the firewall will be start. Okay, yes, 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 visible leda. Everyone is facing the issue. Yeah, yeah, sure. See here, once you click right click on this firewall, and yeah, yeah, I'm repeating the same. Okay, See here, once on the firewall, if you click on, it's already started. Okay, I will show you on the Windows machine. Okay, if you click on this Windows machine, it will be showing multiple options, right? You can just click on start, it will start. Okay, once the entire process will be completed and it will be start. Okay, if you left click on this, it is taking to your ultra VNC wrapper, means whatever the Windows client side we have installed in your local laptop, right? So that will be taking care of this. Okay, if you click on open ultra VNC wrapper, it will be getting to your CLI. Okay, and also the same thing, if you click right left click on this window, it will be going through it will be getting the pop to open ultra VNC wrapper, and click if you click on the ultra VNC wrapper, it will be getting an login page. Okay, for the Windows, the password will be test123. Okay, test123, the first T is in capital. Okay, capital T, ST123, it will be getting. Okay, it will be logging, and once it login, you will be able to do anything. Okay, for the Palo Alto, I have already opened, right? For the Palo Alto, we have by default admin credentials are by default user credentials are admin, and password is and also same admin. Okay, username is admin, password is admin. Okay, you will be able to log in, and once you able to log in, it will show. Okay, once you able to log in, it will be show this like this. This is my user, this is my firewall. Once you log in, it will be getting the prompt like this. And if you want to check the interface, show interface management IP, there is a command called show interface management. Okay, so I have 192.168.0.120, right? So you can use this IP address to log into the web. Okay. See here, I have logged into the web. I have using the cloud access, cloud lab, right? So I'm using the cloud lab IP address. Okay. So if you want, you have already set up the lab. Okay. You have already brought up your lab in your local machines. You can go with the this IP, whatever the IP address that you have on the management, you can go with that IP address. Use HTTPS. Okay, the protocol always should be HTTPS. Okay, for the EVNG, it should be an HTTP. If you are going with an EVNG, it is by an HTTP. But whenever you are logging to the firewall through GUI, you can use an HTTPS and the management IP. Okay, and the management IP also, it will be taking to the once you enter this IP address along with an HTTPS, it will be taking you through the login page. Okay, once the login page enters, you can give the credentials. Okay, whatever the admin. Okay, the credentials are admin. Just a minute, guys. Someone is requesting. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Once you log into the web GUI of this firewall through this management IP address, it will be getting an login page. Use the credentials admin to login. Okay. Once page, if once you click on OK, the page will be landed here. Okay, on the dashboard. On the dashboard, you will see all this information, general information, login admins, and also the system logs, system resources, what is the management CPU, what is the data plane CPU. See here on the general information, you will see the device name, management IP address, and what is the subnet mask, what is the default gateway, and the MAC address of these firewalls, model of this firewall, serial number. The serial number, once you log in, you won't see the serial number. Okay, the serial number should be shown as unknown. What you have to do is you have to apply the license to get the serial number. I will tell you how you have to apply the license. Okay, once the license is applied, the firewall will be going to the automatic reboot. Okay, once the reboot completed, you have to log in again, and then you will see the serial number. Once you see the serial number, that the license is applied successfully. Okay, and the software version. Okay, so what is the software version that you have on this firewall, and the uptime. Okay, the time of the firewall. uh, this is the local time of the firewall and the uptime of the firewall. My firewall is up from 1 hour 31 minutes 58 seconds. Okay, these are the things that you will be finding in the dashboard, and we have other tabs as well: ACC, monitor, policies, objects, network, and devices. Okay, in these devices, I will once you log in to the firewall, what you have to do is, if you want to do anything, first you need to set the primary DNS. Okay, you need to set the primary DNS to 8.8.8.8. You can also set the local DNS as well, but we don't have a local DNS server, so I'm using the global DNS. Okay, because we are here, we are using update server, right, with the URL or FQDN. You have to resolve this, right? Updates.paloaltonetworks.com to update that, to resolve this FQDN to the IP address. We need a DNS server. This DNS server will take care of that. Okay, and these are the things that once you log in, you can check all these things. Okay, and while we can proceed with our lab, what are the things that we need to configure? Okay, first we need to configure as zones, right? If you want to configure a zones, you have to go to the network tab. Okay, in the network tab, we'll be having interfaces, zones. Okay, all those things that we'll be discussing more on the upcoming classes, but in these classes we'll be mostly focusing on interfaces and zones. Okay, first create a zone. What is a zone that I have? First means inside. Okay, inside, and type as an L3. Okay, once you give the name and type as an L3, just click on OK. The zone will be created here. Okay, the inside zone is created. In the same way, create an outside zone. Okay, this is an outside, and the same way, the type is an L3. Just click on OK. Okay, the zones are created. Okay, and next thing what we need to do, we need to enable the interfaces as L3, and we have to configure an IP address, right? So let us take, this is my inside network, right? I'm going with the 10.10.10.0/24. Okay, this is my inside network. I'm going with uh, 10.10.10.10 with IP address of this Windows, and I am going with 10.10.10.100 is my Ethernet 1/1 IP. Okay, so just let's configure this. On the interface, you will see the interfaces here, right? All the interfaces, whatever the interface that we need to connect, we need to enable that. Okay, just click on Ethernet 1/1. It will be show here. Before, it should be like whatever the interfaces you have, it will be seen with an like this. Okay, without anything. Okay, here we are seeing the other interfaces, right, without anything. What you have to do is, you have to select the interface type as an L3. Okay, just click on L3, and after that, you need to give an virtual router. Okay, if you want to create, we can create a virtual router. Otherwise, we can go with a default. There is a default virtual router will be there. And the security zone, what is the security zone that we need for this Ethernet 1/1? That is an inside, right? Whatever we have using here, this is an inside with the Ethernet 1/1. Okay, and IP address, we need to configure an IP address. Just go with an IP address. What is the IP address? 10.10.10.100/24. Give the /24, and this is my IP address on Ethernet 1/1. After that, you need to go on the advanced tab, and we need to create a management profile, right? I will show you where you will create a management profile. Okay, in the network tab itself, we will be having network profiles. In the network profile, we will having interface management. Okay, this is the interface management where you will configure an interface management profile. See here, I have already configured with the name allow ping, and I have enabled the ping and HTTPS. If you want to add new one, you can also create a new one. I am creating with allow internet. Okay, by default, what you need to do is, you need to enable the ping by default. Okay, you need to have the on the Ethernet 1/1. We need, if you are pinging to something, the ping protocol should be enabled. Apart from that, what I am doing is I am enabling a HTTPS. Okay, I will show you how HTTPS will work. You can also give the permitted IP address as well. Okay, if you want to allow this this interface management profile for particular IP address or particular user IPs, you can also add here. But if you are not seeing anything here, it will be allowing any IP. If you are adding any IP address, okay, if you are adding any Windows IP address, it will be permitted for that particular Windows machine or particular IP address, or otherwise it will be allowing everything. Okay, and just click on OK. See here, allow internet. What I have to do is just go on interfaces and add that management profile on the management profile. Okay, in the advanced tab we will be seeing the management profile. If you drop down that, whatever you have configured, it will show here. Okay, you click on whatever you want. Okay, whatever the interface management that you have configured for this ethernet 1/1, just click on that, it will taking. Okay, and after that you can go with an no, uh, don't use an MTU, it will be taking by default MTU. Okay, and if you want, you can also configure nothing. If you don't want the default MTU, you can also configure an MTU, but it should be maximum of 1500. Okay, and on this nothing more you need to configure, just click on OK. It will be taking here. Okay, and after that you need to enable other interface as well, right? What is the other interface? Ethernet 1/4. Okay, and this is my Ethernet 1/4. Just click on it and just go with an L3 interface type as an L3. Same virtual router is default. Security zone, this is an outside. Okay, security zone outside, whatever the interface that has connected to your internet, public or internet, that should be on the outside or untrust. Okay, I have configured as an outside, so I am going with an outside. Here what I am doing is I am not configuring as static. Okay, because we are directly connected to the internet here. Okay, we are directly connected to the internet. We don't know what is the next what is the next hop. Okay, we have just connected. If I want to show in the topology, I have directly connected, right? I have directly connected my Ethernet 1/4 to the network. Okay, or internet. I don't know what is the next hop IP. Okay, so I'm going with an not static. I'm going with an dynamic one, which is an DSCP. Okay, DSCP, whatever the DSCP server will be there in the internet, that will be taking care of. Okay, see here, I'm going with an DSCP client. If you want, you can also configure by if you are not connecting this what we call interface to the Ethernet or internet, or if you have any device in between, we are configuring an interface configuration, right? Likewise you can configure, but here I am directly connected to the internet, right? So I don't know what is the next hop IP, or I don't know what is the next hop next device as well. Okay, so I'm just going with an DSCP client. So the DSCP server which is there in the internet, that will be taking care of the IP address here. Okay, and in the advanced tab, don't use management profile here. Okay, whatever the interface that you have connected outside, no, don't use a management profile. That will be uh, that if you enable that interface on to the interface management profile, that will leads to some issues. Okay, because it is connected to the public. Any of the public who are accessing this interface, that will be able to get IP address, and they will be able to log in from their end. So there will be a chance of stealing your firewall information as well. Okay, and just go with management profile as none here, and just click on OK. It will be shown here, right? The next thing is, what is the next thing that we need to configure? We have configured security policies and NAT policies. Okay, in the policies tab, okay, whatever the policies that you have to configure, that all will be there in the policies tab. Just click on policies. You have a security, NAT, COS, policy based forwarding, decryption policy, tunnel inspection, application override, authentication and we have discussed about application override in the last class, right? In the packet flow we can create here application override. Okay, in this lab we are going with an security policy. By default there are two by default policy will be the intrazone. Intrazone means within the same zone. Within the same zone the policy always should be allow. Okay, because you need to allow the traffic whatever the devices in the same zone, right? This intrazone default policy will be taking care of all the traffic within the zone. Okay, see here, but interzone means from one zone to another zone. If you want to go if you want to reach if you want to reach the traffic, if or if you want to forward the traffic on one zone to another zone, the firewall will obviously block by with this interzone default policy. Okay, see here, by default the action will be deny. Okay, so if you want to send a traffic from one zone to another zone, we need to create an policies. Okay, yes, security policies. See here in the bottom you will be having add, right? You can just click on add, give the name whatever you want. Okay, I am giving the name inside to outside. I am sending the traffic from inside outside. I am going with this name. But if you want, this is just for the identification only. Okay, this is just for identification and recognition of your policies. Whatever the name you want, you can go with that. Okay, and the source zone. Okay, what is the source zone here? Source zone means wherever the traffic is generating. Okay, in this zone we are going with an Windows machine, right? Wherever the traffic is generating, that will be calling as a source zone. Whether if you generate the traffic from here, this will be a source zone and this will be a destination. If you are generating a traffic from here, this will be a source zone. Okay, but we have I want to generate a traffic from Windows machine, right? So I will be going with a source zone as an inside. Okay, just click on add and call this inside zone here, and nothing else you need to configure. If you want, you can add the source address. Okay, if you want, you can add the Windows machine IP. Okay, here. And users, we don't have any users right now, so we are not configuring anything here. It will be going with any. And the destination, you need to call a destination zone. Okay, wherever the traffic is going outside of the firewall, you will call this that as a destination zone and call it here. I have configured a destination zone as an outside, right? So I am taking as an outside. Okay, and the application, you can also enforce the policies based upon the applications. Whatever the application that you want, you can also mention here. We'll be having all the applications whatever there in the internet: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, anything. Okay, Gmails, Yahoo, everything will be there. And whatever the application is available in the internet, and whatever the application that you want to enforce on the security policy, okay, you have to call here. But I'm not going with any application. I'm not using any calling any application here, but I'm going with default with any. And service, what the service means, whatever the ports. Okay, service means here the ports, whatever the ports that you want to allow. For if you want to allow HTTPS 443, you can select HTTPS. If you want to allow 80, you can allow the 80 as well. And apart from that, if you want any port that you have to allow, you can just go ahead on the services, give a name. Okay, I want to allow SSH. Okay, SSH, just give the port. What is the port number of SSH? It is 22, right? Just go with, and whether it is an UDP or TCP, you have to select here. And the destination port you have to say. Okay, and just click on OK. It will be added here, allow SSH. Okay, but I'm not going with any of the in services here. I'm just going with an application default means whatever the traffic, whatever the application that we are using, whatever the default port will be there for that application, it will be taking care. Okay, this URL category we'll discuss later. Okay, we'll discuss later. In this we'll have a separate topic of URL category and filtering. I will discuss there. Okay, but for now I'm going with an any. But this is the most important tab where you have setting an action. Okay, in the action there are multiple things. Okay, allow, deny, drop, reset client, reset server, reset both. But what I'm doing is I'm going with an allow. Okay, but here we have two types of drops. Okay, first one is an deny and one is an drop. Okay, Do you know what is the difference between deny and drop? In the security policy, we have in set of actions, right? Action means first one is an allow, deny, drop, reset client. Y- Yeah, drop means okay. Deny. Yes, yes, that's correct. Absolutely correct. Okay. Whenever you are setting a deny, what the firewall will do is firewall will drop the traffic. Along that, it will send an error message to the source. Okay. Whatever the source that traffic is generated, it will send an error message, ICMP unreachable error message or ICMP error message to the source. Okay. And the drop means if you configure an action as a drop, it will simply drop the traffic without informing anything. Okay, that is the reason for that is the difference between deny and drop. Okay, if you see here, if you select a deny, we are not getting any option to send. Okay, ICMP unreachable. For the drop, what it's showing is if you want to send, you can also send. Okay, by this firewall, by default it won't send. We have to enable this, then only it will send. Okay, but the the basic difference between deny and drop is that is the reason. Okay, uh, if you set the action as a deny, it will discard the packet and it will send an ICMP unreachable message. And if you set action as a drop, it simply discard the packet. Okay, but on this lab, I am going to use the action as an allow to allow the whatever the traffic coming from the Windows machine. Okay, and log settings. What you have to do is you go the best practice on this is you can go with and log at session and all. Okay, don't go with log at session start. We don't need log at session start. Okay, we want log at session and only. Okay, whatever the log setting that we have created here, log at session end, right, you will see in the monitor tab. Whenever the session ends, it will show in the traffic logs here. Okay, for now we don't have any traffic, right? It is not listing any traffic, or it is not recorded any sessions because there is no traffic right now. Okay, that is a thing that log at session end. Okay, log, if you set as log at session start, whenever the session start, it will be recording the log here, and whenever the session ends, it will also record in the log. But the best practice is we don't need a log at session start. We already know the session is started, but we need to know how the session ends and what is the reason for the session end, right? So we need to know that. Okay, for that we are making as an log at session end. Okay, those are the two things that you need to take care of that on that. Okay, and we have created an policy inside outside to allow the uh, traffic from inside zone to outside zone. Okay, then go with the NAT. Okay, on the NAT policy, what you have to do is same like security policy. You have to create one NAT policy, right? I am using an NAT to allow internet, right? So I am going with an allow internet. And what is the original packet? Original packet means whatever our original traffic. Okay, where it is generating from? It is generating from inside to the destination zone outside. And destination interface, whatever the interface that you have configured or connected to the internet or public, you need to use the destination interface. Okay, so here the destination interface should be ethernet 1/4. Okay, and service is any. If you want to add source and destination address also, you can add. This is before translating. Okay, the original traffic, the source address will be our PC's IP, and our Windows machine IP. The destination address will be whatever the destination you are going. Okay, this is original packet, and here the translated packet. We have two different types of translation, right? Source NAT and destination NAT. Okay, whenever traffic going from inside to outside, okay, we need to go with an source address translation. And whenever the traffic coming from outside to inside, we are going with a destination NAT. Now in this case, the traffic going from inside to outside, right? So we are going with an source address translation. Okay, the translation type should be, we need to select dynamic IP port, dynamic IP, static IP, none. Okay, static IP means this is a static NAT. Okay, static NAT, dynamic NAT, and PAT. Okay, we are going with an, in this case we are going with an dynamic IP and port, and it will show you the address type. You have to translated address or any of, you have, we are having a two types. Okay, translated address or interface address. Translated address means you can, if you have already the IP address, you know that you need to translate, you can go with an translated address and mention what is that, what is the IP address that you need to translate. But we don't know what is the IP on this ethernet 1/4. Okay, the destination IP. Okay, because we are connected to the DHCP server, right? So we don't know what is the IP address on this. So what we are doing is we are going with an interface address. Just click on interface, that is an ethernet 1/4. I just go with an IP address, none, because we don't know the what is the IP address that that we are getting on this ethernet 1/4. Just go with none. Okay, just click on OK, and these are the things that you need to configure. Let's check. Okay, we have created zones, we have enabled the interfaces, all the things are done on the interface. We have created interface management profile on, we have already assigned on this inside interface only. Okay, created security policy and created NAT policy. Okay, we have done everything, and whenever you are done with the configuration, we need to commit this configuration, right? Whenever you have made in the commit, okay, in the commit we have two different types of configurations. Okay, commit, we have two different of configurations. Okay, we have candidate config, and second one is an running config. What is candidate config means? The config which is before the commit, whatever the changes that we have made before the commit, it will be calling as an candidate config. It will be before commit. And before the commit, whatever the changes we have made, we have not done anything in the, we have not done commit, right? So whatever the changes that we have made, whatever the things that we have configured, that is in the candidate configuration now. Okay, once the commit is done, what it will do is the configuration, sorry, will be moving from candidate config to the running config. Once the, after commit, this is after commit, once the configurations push to the running config, those are the things that are in the real time. Okay, once the configurations in the running config, that will be the taking place, whatever the actions that we have set, that will be the taking care in the real time. Okay, the candidate config won't be sorry, that, yeah. The candidate config, if you configure anything and you have not made a commit, that won't affect on your real traffic. Okay, once you did the commit, it will be the candidate config will be pushed to the running config. Once the configuration is pushed to running config, then only the configuration will be taking effect, and whatever the things that we have made, that will be taking care. Okay, see here, I haven't done anything now. I am going to commit the configuration. Okay, they will be having commit all changes or commit made by particular admin. Okay, but for suppose if you have multiple users that are managing this firewall, this single firewall managed by the different persons. Okay, I'm you are using, I am using, and some other person also using the same, and they are making the changes. So, okay, if you make commit all changes, whatever the changes made by everyone on that particular firewall, it will be making, or it will be committing. Okay, if you know that the firewall is managed by the different people, don't go with commit all changes, go with the commit change made by the particular whoever you are logged in. Or if I'm logged in as an admin, right? So it will be showing an admin, or if you have an username, it will be show here as well. Okay, so the people who are if the this firewall is managed by different people, go with the commit changes made by that particular admin. Okay, don't go with commit all changes. But for now, no one is using my firewall, right? I'm the only one using. I'm going to commit all changes whatever I have done. Okay, that is the one thing that you have to remember while you are doing commit. You need to go with commit made by in the real time, not in the lab setup. No one will use, right? Your lab, you only using in the real time. Whenever you are doing commit, you have to remember that whenever you are doing commit, you have to make the commit by the particular admin who are logged in on that. Okay, who are logged in means with what admin you have logged in. Okay, see here, the our changes are completed, and I want to configure an IP address on the Windows machine as well. I don't have an IP, we haven't configured, right? That is the one thing also you need to configure. Okay, just I'm adding the sixth step here. Config IP on Windows. Yes. In the real-time firewall, I think there is no limit. It seems. I think I'm not sure about that, but there is no limit. As far as I know, we can log in how many members we want. Yeah, that's one. And here, the sixth step is an config IP on Windows, right? We can configure two ways on the Windows. Okay, we can configure statically. Okay, and we can also configure dynamic. Dynamic means the DHCP that we have configured, it will be taking care. But the static means we have to configure. Okay, and if you want IP address to get on this PC using an DHCP server, we have to configure an DHCP server on this firewall, because this Windows machine is connected to the firewall Ethernet 1/1, right? So you need to configure the DHCP server on this Ethernet 1/1. I will show you how to create a DHCP server. Okay, because Ethernet, this Windows machine is connected on Ethernet 1/1, right? So you have to configure an DHCP server on Ethernet 1/2. Oh, we have lost. Hi guys, can you hear me? Hello. Yeah. Where we are at the sixth step, right? We can configure an IP address on Windows in two ways. We can configure manually using static IP, and or otherwise, if you don't want to configure manually, and if you want to go with dynamic, you have to, what you have to do is in the firewall you have to. Yeah. On the if you want to use dynamic, or if you want to configure IP address on the Windows machine dynamically, what you have to do is you have to configure an DHCP server on the firewall. Okay. How to configure DHCP server on the firewall means whatever the interface that Windows machine is connected, you have to connect on that configure a DHCP server on that interface. Okay. Don't confuse with this DHCP server. This is for the outside interface, but not for the Windows machine. Okay, because this is in different zone and this is in a different zone. So whatever the Windows machine that we have connected on the Ethernet 1/1, you need to configure an DHCP server on that particular interface. Okay, I will show you how to configure that. Okay, let's go ahead on the firewall. See here on the network tab itself, we'll be having DSCP option here. Okay, this is a DSCP server where you can configure an DSCP server on this particular interface. I'm muting. Okay, click on add and just go with the interface that you want. Okay, I'm going with the Ethernet 1/1. It will see here the if you want to enable DSP server on the firewall, it will be taking care of only the inside interface that we have connected. Okay, because outside we don't care. Whatever the interface that connected to the outside, that outside DSP server will be taking care. But if you want to configure DSP server, it will be taking only the inside interfaces. Okay, and here we are seeing as an mode as an auto enable or disable, right? If you enable, this is in the enable mode. If you disable, the DSP server will be disabled. Auto means it will be taking care whether interface is up or down. That's basically taking care of the interface status. Okay, and in the lease you have an lease, right? You have to mention the IP pool whenever you are configuring DSP server. You can mention the IP pool, right? Just I'm going with 192.168.10.100. Okay, with 192.168.10.200. I'm just going with this pool 100 to 200. If you want, you can you can take the IP pool whatever you like. Okay, and here you can create the pool. After that, you in the options you need to create a gateway, right? Whatever the IP address of this Ethernet 1/1, that you need to give that. Okay, or here, but the I am going with 10 dot network, right? But this IP pool will won't work. Okay, we want to give the IP pool in this network only. Okay, whatever the IP address that we have configured, we have to give the pool in that same subnet only. Okay, because it is directly connected, right? In the same network we have to get an IP here. Okay, and you need to configure an IP pool in that. Okay, just go with 10.10.10.10 with range 10.10.10. 254, or like if you want to get 200. Okay, you can go with that. If you want also, you can I'm going with a range like this. If you want, you can also use the subnet as well. Okay, if you want only /25 or /26 or /27, you can also go with that, but I'm using this way with 10 to 200 range. Okay, in the options you need to get the gateway, right? What is the gateway here? For my Windows, the Ethernet 1/1 is my gateway. Whatever the IP address that I have configured here, I am using that as an gateway, right? So go with an IP address that you have configured on Ethernet 1/1, and subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and give any of the primary DNS. Okay, I'm going with 8.8.8 with the primary DNS. These are the things that you need to configure. In the list you have to mention the range, and in the options, gateway, subnet and DNS. These are the things that is going to provide the DSP server to the client, right? So we need to configure all these things. Once you configure, we have already configured, right? And let's go ahead, and before that you can see the view allocations as well. If you click on view allocations, DSP server lease interface is not allowed keyword. Okay, because we haven't configured, right? And we can see that. Just go ahead and commit this. In the allocations, we haven't not seen anything, but once the commit completes, we can see the allocations. Before that, go ahead and check on this Windows machine as well. Okay, in the Windows machine, TCP IPv4 properties. Whether you in the last lab in the for the last batch I have teach something. It will be you. I have used it and static, but let's go ahead and obtain IP address automatically. Obtain if you select obtain automatic IP address automatically, it will be getting IP address from the DSCP that it is there in the local. Okay. See here, I think we have got the IP. It seems. Let's check. I think if you see here, we also got the internet access as well. Show IP. Sorry, this is a Windows mission rights. IP config. Okay. See here, I got an IP address 10.10.10, and if you go with the view allocations on the DHCP server, see here the IP address 10.10.10 is allocated to the MAC address of this PC, and the state is committed and lease time. Okay, lease time. This is the lease time for this. It will be available till February 24. Okay, not 24, February 24, 2025. Okay, this is 1 year of lease unlimited. You can see the view allocations here as well, and we can also seeing an IP address here. If you want to see the exact if this particular in the view allocation and also the IP address is matching, that's fine. But if it's not matching, you have to check to which to which PC that it has connected. If you want to see that, you need to check the MAC address, right? IP config slash all. You will see the physical address here on the PC. See here we have a physical address, right? In the physical address, what we have 5001000000. You can also check in this way, okay? 5001000200. So the binding of IP address is correct on this, okay? And also we need to check internet access, right? So if you want to check the internet access, just go ahead and ping 8.8.8 if you are able to ping or not, okay? See here, we are able to ping. We are able to ping 8.8.8, and if you want to check, you can also go ahead on the browser and access something. You are able to access or not, just for reference. If you are able to ping 8.8, that should be fine. You are able to reach the internet. And if you want to more confirmation, go with any of the portals. Okay. If you are able to reach or not. Okay. I'm just going with the India Post GDS online. So whenever you are the traffic, whatever the traffic that is going from this PC, that is generating on that PC, that is reaching the firewall, right? Everything should be going with an everything should be logged in this monitor. Okay, I have access the Indian Post Office, right? India Post. You can go ahead and check in the monitor tab. See here, I have pinged here. Okay, I ping 8.8. Okay, you if you want to see the logs, come on the monitor tab and click on the traffic logs. The traffic logs will be seen here. Okay, see here before what I do is you can also filter. Okay, what how you can filter is whatever the things that you are seeing here. If you want to filter with source, just click on source, it will take you the filter. Okay, and I want an application also. Okay, I want to application. Let's I want to application ping. Just click on any of the application. If you see the ping, you can just go ahead and click on that. I am not seeing a ping here, right? I'm just editing it. Okay, with the source address 10.10.10, I want to check the ping traffic. Okay, just I have made a filter and applying the filter now. See here, before whatever I ping, the ping traffic is there, right? Here you can see the ping traffic. And if you want to see more details for this, of this particular traffic. Here on the left side you have a magnifying glass, right? You can click on the magnifying glass, you will get a detailed log view. Okay, in the detailed log view you have to check is what is the exact rule that you have configured, whether it is hitting or not, and you have to check whether the NAT is happening or not. So if you are seeing the NAT IP here, we are doing a source NAT, right? So you can see the source IP should be source IP should translate. Okay, this is actual source and this is a NATed IP. Okay, but the destination you will be see the same because you are not doing a destination NAT. Okay, we are doing the source NAT, so the source IP should change. Okay, and the things that you need to also check is the bytes received and bytes sent. Okay, the bytes sent and received is it should not be the same, but whenever the traffic is going it should be incrementing. Okay, and also the packets received and packets sent, whenever you are sending a packets and your packet sent is increasing but your packet received is not receiving, but let's suppose if you are troubleshooting something. Okay, and they are saying that this is not accessing, I am not able to reach internet, means you need to check particular, you need to get particular traffic logs and click on the magnifying glass, check these things. Okay, first thing you need to check is a rule, whether the it is hitting the correct rule or not. If it is hitting the correct rule, check the NAT. Okay, whether it is getting a NAT or whether you have configured a NAT for this. If you have configured NAT, check the NATed IP. Okay, I will show you where you are getting this NAT IP. Okay, it is from the Ethernet 1/4. I will show you that. And after that, after checking the NAT, what you need to check is you need to check this packets received, bytes received and sent, and packet received and sent. Okay, if packet received is not incrementing and bytes received is not incrementing and bytes sent is increasing, we are sending that means we are sending the traffic but we are not receiving the, we are sending but we are not receiving any traffic from other end. And that's confirmed that it is not issue from our end, it is issue from other end. Okay, and the packet received also same thing, if your bytes is increasing, the packets will also increase. Okay, that's not a command. What you need to check is these things you need to check: packets received and sent, bytes received and sent. Okay, and these are the detailed log view from the GUI. And if you want to see on the CLI as well, we can also see. Okay, there is a command. Okay, there is a command show session all. Okay, if you click on session all, it will be showing all the sessions that are on this firewall. Okay, whatever the sessions, whatever the traffic that is entering the firewall, it will be logging all the sessions. Okay, it will be maintaining the flow table. I will show you the flow table as well. Okay, if you see the I think this is not that much clear, I think it seems, but I think this is the maximum that we can get. See here on this session table or session logs, on the side of this we will see some session IDs. Okay, if you want to see that particular session, show session ID, and the ID we have 76, 80, 85, 83, right? Just open any one of the session. Okay, show session ID, just go with 76. See here, this is a flow tables. Okay, I have told you, right, C2S and S2C. This is a flow tables where you can, where the firewall will be extracting the tuples and will be will be matching with the flow tables. Okay, whenever the firewall extract the tuples, it will be checked whether any of the flow is matching or not with the source, destination, protocol. See here, we have a source, destination IP, protocol, source port, destination port, and the state. Here the state is an active. Okay, we have also discussed about the state, right? The state is an active means actively the firewall is sending and receiving the traffic. Okay, this is C2S flow and S2C flow. So here we are going from source 10.10 to 34.104, but here what we are seeing on the S2C, we are coming from 34.104 and the destination is 192.168.0.1 because it is NATed. Okay, Once the firewall reaches this traffic on this IP address, it is again translating this 192.168.126 to 10.10, it will send the traffic. Okay. Apart from these flow tables, here we can also see whatever we have seen here. Okay. Whatever we have seen here, rule, NATed IP interface, we can see the rest of things here as well. See here, the ingress interface, egress interface, the rule, application, VCs, L7 processing, all these things will be seen here as well. Okay. This is how you can check the logs once the traffic is receiving, and if you are facing any issues also, first you need to check is monitor and the traffic logs. Okay, if you are seeing anything, if you are whatever the rule that you have configured that is not that is hitting the same rule or not. Okay, and whatever the IP NATed IP that you are configured or NATed IP, if it is NATing, whether it is NATing to the correct IP or not, and bytes received and bytes sent. Apart from that, you can check from here as well, show session all, and here also you can make a filter as well. Okay, if you want to go with an any source IP, so session all filter source, you can mention the source IP. Okay, 10.10.10 dot show session all is a command where you will get all the sessions. Okay, but I don't want all the sessions, I want only the particular sessions belongs to this source and the destination. You can also mention the destination IP 8.8.8. Just click on OK. For that particular destination, I don't have any active flows. It will show only the active flows. I will generate a traffic. Okay, again from the Windows machine, what I will do is I will ping once again. Okay, it will be show the only active sessions. Okay, if I enter the command again, see here, I got an sessions. Okay, sessions for this particular source and destination. We will get only that. If you want to show the particular session, you will go with so session ID. The ID we have 100, 101, 102, 103. Let's go with any of the ID. Okay, it will show the session with the session ID, C2S flow, S2C flow, and source IP, destination IP, protocol. Okay, and the other things as well. Okay, interfaces, rules. Okay, that you can see here. Okay, these are the some basic things that you need to check whenever you are seeing some traffic, or whenever some traffic is not flowing. If you have any issues on the fire or issue seeing on this Windows machine, whenever you are trying to reach the internet, these are the things that you need to check. Okay, any questions or any concerns on this? This is all about our basic lab. This basic lab will help the rest of the lab that we are going further. Okay, understood, right? How to enable zones, interfaces, configuring interface management profile. Oh, I want to show one thing, right? Interface management profile. Let's see here. I have configured interface management profile on Ethernet 1/1, right? What I can do is I will go ahead on this whatever the Windows machine that is connected on this Ethernet 1/1. For now, I'm using this management web GUI access on the my local machine using this public IP. Okay, uh, we have mapped the we are accessing from the cloud, right? The in the cloud the private IP addresses are not allowed, right? So for particular IP address, this firewall IP address, we have did some port forwarding to this public IP because it is in the cloud, right? So we are not able to access using this management IP. We won't able to get reachable to this. So that's why we have done some port forwarding for this IP address, so that I am using here with the cloud IP and the port. So you can able to access on your local lab. Okay, if you are doing lab on your local PC and EVNG is already installed in your local PC, right? You can able to log in with this 0.126. I want to show interface management profile, right? I have configured interface management profile on Ethernet 1/1. What I will do is I will go ahead on this file on this Windows machine. I can log in with the interface IP address. What is the interface IP address that we have configured? Means it is 10.10.10.100. Okay, that is a Ethernet 1/1 IP address, right? That we have configured. So I am going. Let's check once. Here in the interfaces, Ethernet 1/1, and we have management professional allow internet, and the IP address is 10.10.10. Okay, on this PC, whatever the lab PC that we have, just go ahead and access that HTTPS with IP address. Let's see if we are able to see. Just go on advanced and proceed with 10.10.100. Okay. See here I got an access to the Palo Alto firewall, right? You will see a login page once you provide an IP address. You can just go with admin. Okay. If you click on OK, the firewall will be logged in. See here, I am able to access the interface, the management access of the firewall through both ways. Okay, from the management interface as well from the data plane interface. Okay, this is for the this data plane interface management access is for the redundancy of the management interface. Okay, you can have the redundancy once if you don't have a redundancy once something is done on the firewalls, you are not able to access the management. Okay, and see here, this is the you we have logged in here. The IP address is same, right? 192.168.0.120, and same whatever the things that we have configured, it will also reflect here as well. See here, inside, outside, network, the access should be same, but we are using the different IP address. That's it. Whatever we have configured here, it will be also reflecting here as well. Okay, nothing worry about that configuration. This is how you can use the interface management profile to log in the management access of this firewall using a data plane interface. Okay, understood, right? Do you have any queries or concerns on this lab? Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm just stopping the recording. Okay, if you don't have any doubts, I am going to stop the recording. Yeah, okay, perfect.